Boom, welcome to the Sebs Show, everybody. It's your boy Sebs. And today we're breaking down UFC Fight Night Santos versus Anders, UFC Sao Paulo. Uh, man, Brazilian cards, I'm always liking them. They're always usually stacked and whatnot. Good talent in the cards. Looking forward to this one. Weird that it starts a little bit late. I don't know why it starts 30 minutes late than usual. But yeah, it looks to be like a good card, man. Some good cards, some good fights overall, and some debutantes that are I'm looking forward to watching for sure. But let's start it off. We got Lavina Renato Souza take on Alex Chambers first, and this one of my first plays of the night. I got 5 units or 4 units on Lavina Souza with somebody later in the card. Pretty much this is right now where she's at. I got her like minus 600, and she's at I think minus 1200 right now, minus 1400 in some places. Um, I don't know how else to put this. I think she's gonna tap out Alex Chambers rather quickly. I think she's gonna take it to the ground and tap her out. I think her striking's much better than Alex Chambers. I think her grappling's much better than Alex Chambers, even though Alex Chambers is a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. I think with Venus Souza, this is her debut in the UFC. I'm very much looking forward to it. She's nicknamed the Brazilian Gangster for a reason. She is a fucking gangster, and looking forward to watching her do work, man. So I got 4 units on her with somebody later in the card. Next fight, we got Jose Zaleski dos Santos taking on Luigi Vendramini. Now Zaleski's a fucking animal, man. If you watch his fights against sorry guys, my phone just froze. Like what was it? The spinning heel kick against Sean Strickland. The Max Griffin fight was pretty good. When he broke down Lyman Good, and Lyman Good said he had nothing in his corner. That was a good fight too. Zaleski's no joke, man. He's a real deal, and he's very action packed fighter, man. Luigi Vendramini, from what I've seen, nothing super technical about this guy. He likes to put on the ground a little bit. I think he's a Brazilian Italian or something like that. His nickname's the Italian Stallion, but he's from Brazil. And his name's Luigi, so he's definitely Italian. Uh, yeah, I think, and he's a 155er as well. He's just making this short notice fight because Bilal Muhammad dropped out. He got hurt. But bless up to my boy Bilal, by the way. Thanks for following me on Twitter. But yeah, I think this kid's gonna get hurt, man. I think Zaleski's gonna put a beating on him and really take him out. So I got 5 units on Jose Zaleski dos Santos. He's the way better striker here, without a doubt. He's gonna be a great grappler here. I don't think he goes to the floor. I think Zaleski dos Santos outpieces this kid. It could be, hey man, I don't know if this kid's tough or not, so I wouldn't touch the fight. Doesn't go to decision, but Zaleski's got some power in his hands, so he can definitely knock him out and in his feet. I'm just going with Zaleski though to outpiece this kid, and I got him in a parlay, 5 unit parlay with somebody later in the card. Next up, we got Talos Latis versus Hector Lombard, and I'm pretty sure this Talos Latis is his retirement fight. From what he was saying beforehand, I'm pretty sure I'm not 100% on that, so don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure. And then he's facing Hector Lombard here, who's not a spring chicken himself, 40 years old. So I think Talos Latis is actually younger than him. Yeah, 36. So man, who knows? This might be a fight, retirement fight for both of them. But Hector Lombard, last fight was against CB Dalloway, I believe, at UFC 222, and when he punched CB after the bell and he got disqualified, it was late. It wasn't super late. It was late though. But yeah, I can see why he got disqualified because CB couldn't continue and whatnot. So, but like before that, he fought Anthony Smith, got knocked out. I'm pretty, or did it go the distance?
And it's kind of wide open. That's what this is about. You gotta know
go the distance. Let's see. I don't even remember. Fuck it. But and then you got, did he freeze? Yeah, Dan Henderson. When Dan Henderson knocked him the fuck out, you guys remember that? Dan Henderson knocked him the fuck out with that elbow. So that was dangerous too. Taos Latis lost like Sam Alvey on. It was at the fight, I believe. I think Alvey had trouble with his leg or whatnot with the leg kicks, and Taos really ate him up with the leg kicks and still found a way to lose. Actually, so that's impressive when you can lose like that. Not really, not at all. But yeah, I still found a way to lose, which was something. Oh yeah, he did get finished by Anthony Smith. That's what I was looking for. Okay, he got finished by Anthony Smith, third round. His chin's a little bit weathered too, Hector Lombard, but Taos Latis, man, this might be a good opportunity for him. I'm going with Hector Lombard. We'll go with Hector Lombard here. Not sure on that one who I like really, but leaning towards Hector Lombard on that. And okay, next up we got Mayra Bueno Silva taking on Julian Robertson. This is going to be a good graphic on this. Bueno Silva had that nasty ninja choke on Contender Series Brazil, if you saw that. Nasty ninja choke. Got it deep in too. And then Julian Robertson's just a great grappler, working at American Top Team at the moment. She's probably gonna be the more ready athlete here, just because she's been in a few UFC contests already. She's tapped out both opponents, I believe, in Molly McCann and Emily Whitmire. Bueno Silva, from what I saw, she's good on the ground too. She got a nasty arm bar in one of the fights I was watching, and then she got that ninja choke like I was talking about. That's another close matchup I don't know too much about that I'm going to pass on, obviously, from a betting perspective. But I wouldn't doubt it if Julian Robertson pulls this one out, so I'm giving it to Julian Robertson here. Next up, we got Sergio Moraes taking on Ben Saunders, and I like this matchup a lot for Sergio Moraes. I got Sergio Moraes in a 3.3 unit parlay with somebody later in the card.
What's going on, son?
What's good, buddy? Gibbs is now joining us, everybody. We're on Sergio Moraes and Ben Saunders.
Sergio Moraes and Ben Saunders. Okay. Did you want to finish that up then?
Pardon?
Did you want to finish that one up then?
Yeah. Okay, so Sergio Moraes, he's a wild man on the feet, man, but he gets the job done. He throws a lot of hooks and whatnot. Always looking for the body strike, the body kick, and just an outstanding grappler, world champion in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, IBJJF world champion. I'm not sure if he won the Abu Dhabi as well, but he's just all over the place in Jiu-Jitsu world champions, multi-time world champion there. and he's going against Ben Saunders, who doesn't have the best offense in terms of striking. Looks for the Muay Thai plum punch a lot, and other than that, he's not. He works a lot off his Muay Thai, very not too fast and whatnot, but and kind of stiff when he throws. He's a good grappler, but fuck, man, the guy on his feet, he doesn't look like the greatest fighter. But mind you, he did knock out, or he did stop Jake Ellenberger, the fight before he retired, with a knee to the body and then punches after that. So he hasn't looked horrible, but like the guys, he got knocked out by Alan Joban and knocked out by Peter Sabata. But I do like Sergio a lot in this matchup, so I got him in a 3.3 unit parlay with somebody later in the card. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I like Sergio Moraes as well. Great fight with Davi Ramos. I think he worked the body a lot in that fight. A lot of punches and kicks thrown. Good left hook. He swipes it like a cat, and he can stay pretty close for a long time. But I think when he backs up, it's when the fight gets a little difficult for him. He kind of stays out of range and waits. But again, he's waiting for those nice body kicks, waiting for a lot of good critical strikes. Whereas I see a lot of Ben Saunders. He is a little far back when he fights, but he throws one kind of combination only.
And he throws one strike at a time.
Yeah, jab, leg kick, and then he'll look to maybe take it to the ground. Got a real nice omoplata submission. Obviously, that was like a big highlight for him.
Yeah, and that's probably his biggest highlight.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, for a good reason. The guy can get triangles. He's got real long legs, so he can control people, keep people's hips away if he has to. Trains at 10th Planet, right?
Yeah, he's got a tricky rubber guard.
Yeah.
10th Planet. He's good.
He's good. I doubt Moraes is going to like that.
He's good on the ground, but I see Sergio, like, just absolutely demolishing him if they go to the floor, just because, like, Sergio is, like, such a better grappler.
They don't like the rubber guard, but I think Sergio would be able to deal with it, especially with his striking on the feet, you know? So, I got Sergio Moraes in this fight.
Yeah.
Because I think Ben Saunders tends to fade away from his game plan if, stuff starts coming his way a little too often on the stand-up.
Who knows how he's going to be in Brazil against the Brazilian. And if this fight's close, I'm going with the Brazilian here for sure. But I don't see it being close. I see it actually being a 30-27 in Brazil. Even if it wasn't in Brazil, I see it being a 30-27 regardless. I could see Sergio Moraes just doing some damage here. Might be able to submit him as well. But I see most likely outcomes being a decision here. Next fight we got up is Augusto Sakai taking on Chase the Finella Gorilla Sherman. Augusto Sakai, if you watched the Brazilian episode of Contender Series, looked real good, man. He was smooth on his feet, good conditioning. Every time he would drop the guy, he would get on top of him and just smother him with ground and pound and just like do a lot of damage from the top. He's got heavy hands. He's got a nasty teep kick, and his only loss is the Czech Congo in a split decision.
Oh man,
yeah. So Augusto Sakai is, I think he's the real deal, man. At 27 years old, he's a monster, and he's going against Chase Sherman here, who just doesn't like to move his fucking head. Chase has a big problem striking. He's not the most competent striker. I think he's gonna have a lot of trouble with Augusto Sakai here. With Sakai, just his Muay Thai and his power, I think he's gonna crack Sherman a couple times. Might be able to knock him out, but this is another fight that might go the distance. But I got Augusto Sakai here doing more damage and everything all day. I got 4.7 units on him at minus 235, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think Chase is a little problematic on the stand-up. He's got real long arms, and he uses his size really well. It's just he leans in a lot, and his chin's right out there. Even with the long reach, all it takes is one shot down the middle, and not every opponent is going to be that guy who stands in the pocket and waits. I thought Chase Sherman's knockout over Walt Harris was similar to went similar like that. He let him get kneed and punched, and Walt really suffered for that. And he's a big guy, same as Sakai, but I think Sakai can kind of out wrestle a little bit more, and out kick him a little bit more actually.
Yeah, he's got a very nasty leg kick.
Got a nasty leg kick and teep, like you said. And I think he's pretty good at timing takedowns, but man, when he starts throwing punches, when he wants to, right after being a little patient, I think he can do it. He throws uppercuts a lot. If you duck into them, man, you're going to get hit by at least 2 or 3. He has good clinch work and likes to throw those knees in between and really hurt people against the fence with it.
Yeah.
I'd actually like to see both of these fighters put each other on the fence just because they're both really good at it. I'm wondering who's a little bit better in this instance. Maybe even Augusto because of his size.
Augusto Sakai is like clinch work against the fence is no joke.
His size is crazy too, and his defensive timing is really well. So I like Sakai in this fight a lot when I started watching him. But I mean, Chase Sherman might be hungry for that win. He's lost twice. He has more UFC experience. So I feel like he might bite down on the mouthpiece a little bit more in this one. It could be a tough one. I still have Sakai because I like what I've seen so far. But don't be surprised if Chase Sherman just starts battling like no tomorrow.
Yeah, I'd actually be surprised if Chase Sherman starts battling like no tomorrow. I haven't seen that out of him ever in his career. Man got knocked out by Shamil Abdurrahimov.
Yeah. That's actually a fight I can see almost going mirror for mirror for Sakai actually.
Yeah.
Maybe even earlier than round 2 at least.
Well, it happened in the first round, didn't it? The first one.
Second round. Oh, you're right. Yeah, first. You're right. Shit.
All right. So next up, we got Luis Eryk taking on Ryan Superman Spann. And I'm big on Superman. I got 4 units on him, man. I got 3.5 units at minus 211, and then I got 0.5 units at minus 158. That's how that line dropped, and I had to just jump on it. So I got 4 units on Superman Spann here. I think he's the better fighter overall, the more athletic fighter here. Enrique's dropping down at least 45 pounds here. He walks around probably a bit over 240, maybe 250. He's dropping down to 205 here. He likes to go for his clinch work a lot. And
All right, you're back. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could see like how he got stuck against Nagano, or like Artson Bullard just gave him a lot of problems with the takedown. I see that being a path to victory for Ryan Spann, just out wrestling him and possibly getting a submission on the floor. Marcin Tybura was another one who gave him a lot of problems. His only win in the UFC so far, I believe, is Christian Colombo.
Guillotine, yeah.
Yeah. So, Christian Colombo isn't that good either. And I see Ryan Spann. The only thing I have a problem with here is the size difference is going to be big just because Spann used to fight at middleweight, 185. This guy used to fight at heavyweight. So that might be a problem, but I see Spann outworking. I'm definitely going to be the fresher fighter in there, the more conditioned athlete. I see him just doing damage and finishing this one early, man. So I got Ryan Spann. Um, I got 4 units on Ryan Spann, 3.5 at 211 and 0.5 at -158. And I'm also probably gonna bet the fight doesn't go to decision here, as well. Parlay it with another fight doesn't go to decision, but I do like that.
Yeah. It was unfortunate on Ryan Spann's Carl Robertson fight. I mean, he ran right into the shot, and I guess that's kind of what his style brings him. He's always going forward, and that's really good because he has a great guillotine strategy. He's been able to lock up like 6 of them, and a lot of it starts from when he lands those big shots on the stand-up. He knows exactly where to be next and where you're going to be after getting hit. And he's really good at placing himself closer and closer and closer to that guillotine or even to the back so he can go for chokes. And I like that strategy. Hit you really quick, really fast with something, get you off balance, and get onto your best submission. Under that, I mean, he is coming right at you, and a single shot could put him out. But at the same time, he's going for it. And a lot of people throw very scarce tactics and can almost throw their whole game plan out the window. And Luis Henrique, I mean, he throws a lot of uppercuts early and can be hit by everyone's favorite overhand right. Big overhand right by Arjun Buller in that fight. And Henrique likes to throw 1-2s, 1-2-3s a lot. A lot of simple stuff. But at the same time, I mean, he was coming in to the UFC with his chokes. Came in with a guillotine and even rear naked over Dmitry Samolokov. Obviously, recently he hasn't been doing good. Also losing to Marcin Tybura, but he at least went 3 rounds. Kind of got ground pounded at the end, but kind of ended for him. I mean, could be an interesting fight to see if he really wants it, and after the 2 losses, start to show a bit more grit. But I think Ryan Spann's going to take it just because he already had his taste of it in the Contender Series. Got taken out by someone who's already doing pretty well since that fight, and is now getting a second shot against a fighter who's coming down in weight. Bit of concern, but I still think he can beat him up. Maybe even get the
if this fight goes late, I think it's all Ryan Spann, but I think it's not going to go late. I think this fight ends rather quickly.
Or he runs into something, but I think Ryan Spann beats him up.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, next up we got Francisco Trinaldo taking on Evan Dunham. And this is the second leg of my 3.3 unit parlay with Sergio Moraes, -110 here. I just think Francisco Trinaldo is just better technically everywhere. His striking is way better. There's only probably one path of victory to Evan Dunham. It's to get him to the ground.
Yeah.
Even that's what my boy Kelton was saying is his only path to victory is probably a takedown or several takedowns. And Trinaldo is just, I can't see that happening either in Brazil, just like Kelton said he couldn't. But I think Francisco Trinaldo is just going to outstrike Evan Dunham for 3 rounds and just get a 30-27 here.
Man, I liked watching Evan Dunham. I think he was doing real well up until the Oliver Mercier fight. He's a good wrestler who can throw kicks. Good at a left hand, good body kick back to the takedown, and forces a lot of punches forward. Can catches a lot of chokes and arm bars. Good ground and pound, like you said, wrestle you and get you to that old kind of UFC pace.
He's just like a tough guy. He doesn't have like good striking. He's not that good on the ground.
He had Oliver Mercier on his back foot in the very beginning, but when when any sort of kind of punches came his way, he did get hit, and he was kind of tipping over on the fence, so it looked like he couldn't take very much. And, you know, he got taken out early in that fight. But I still like his style, and I think he presses real hard. Francisco Trinaldo had a pretty good Kevin Lee fight. He put him in a lot of trouble on the ground. Even if Kevin Lee won that fight, I still think he put him through a tough ringer. I recommend his Paul Felder fight, actually. That's a real good one. Just the strikes and wrestling exchanges they both had. What were you going to say?
No, I was just agreeing with you. That was a good fight.
Yeah, such a good fight, man. He likes to go that extra mile in working that pace. And I like that because that's what you have to do against Felder. And, you know, he was always landing one more punch than him or one more thing. And I like that. He has a good eye, and he saw a lot of spinning kicks, a lot of spinning backhands coming from Felder. So it was pretty interesting that he almost saw it before Felder even threw it. And he has an interesting kind of low hand boxing. You know, likes to go for the leg raise and then go for the jab with his right southpaw hand. Walks around, but will instantly stop and fire with his left, and cork it into a left hook if he wants to. I don't know why. I kind of want Evan Dunham to win this. So yeah, I'm taking Evan Dunham in this one, man. I think he put Oliver Mercier on his back foot, and I liked how he did it. And in a lot of the fights before, he was a tough fight for anybody.
He didn't put Mercier on his back foot.
Early, like he was hitting him up against the fence a bit until he came back. But I don't know.
He got a draw.
What's his call? I'm taking Evan Dunham though.
Yes, sir. We're marking that one down on your
All right. Remember this one.
Okay, next up, Charles Oliveira, Du Bronx, taking on Christos Giagos. And Du Bronx, the way I see it is like Giagos had a tough time already in his UFC stint before. They're bringing him back. I don't know why, but he looked all right at ACB recently. So I guess they're gonna bring him back here. Du Bronx is just a way better grappler here. Is just going to be outstanding. I think he gets a quick submission here and taps out Christos Giagos here. So I got him in a 4-unit parlay with Livia Renato Souza minus 200 4 units. So. Yep, I got Charles Oliveira here.
Yeah, I noticed he went on a break for a while and got 4 wins outside of the UFC. I really like his Shamil Nakao fight. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
That's an awesome fight, man. Will not stop winging punches, throws over the shoulders, puts everything out there that you expect. Few positions that he strikes from. He'll go for some really, really good hustled single legs. Bit of a gamble, likes to swing hands most likely, kind of from left to right. But I mean, he can still make some smart moves when he gets out of attacks. The Shamumi fight was intense. Shows you what he can do when he's wrestle boxing with the constant pressure against somebody who's also wrestle boxing. Both of them are actually pretty calm. I like how Charles Oliveira, you know, spitfire pace, kind of prepared for anything, real quick instincts. You know, he's got an iron will, man, in that Paul Felder fight. I still like that one. He put Felder in a lot of trouble even before the loss. He's just got a knack for fighting almost off his back foot, as well as, you know, fighting when he's leading. When he's leading and when he's not leading. Super threatening with arm bars, triangle threats off his back. Really has a nice bag of tricks. Like you said, super good at the submission. I actually think Oliveira gets the submission in this one. It'll be difficult because of the wrestling, so I wouldn't be surprised if it goes all rounds here. But I can see Charles Oliveira ending it on the striking.
Yeah, I see him submitting him. I see this him getting a triangle from the bottom or something, or like something dangerous from on top, and I see him submitting him. But yeah, let's go to our next fight here. Marina Rodriguez, Markos versus Marina Rodriguez. And Marina Rodriguez has some nasty Muay Thai.
Oh yeah,
multi-time world champion in Brazil. Topology's #2 ranked Brazilian pound for pound woman on the planet. Very dangerous. She looked in that fight against I don't even know what the girl's name is, Oliveira or something, in her Dana White Contender Series Brazil, and the girl said no mas. She quit. She quit, and she didn't like her striking didn't look that much superior. Excuse me, sorry. I think she gets the job done. Yeah.
We'll go back like maybe 30 seconds. That's it.
Her striking's more superior. She's going to win. Her striking is way more superior. Showed in that match about how good she is. We already saw a person like Nina Antarov outstrike Ronda Markos. Ronda Markos' only path to victory here is the takedown. And I think Marina Rodriguez is going to give her a lot of problems in the clinch. So I got Marina Rodriguez here. I got 2.5 units on Marina Rodriguez at plus 100, I believe, to win. Yeah, 2.5 units at plus 100.
Yeah, man. Marina Rodriguez is ridiculous. Her striking that she uses, especially with her reach and teeps, are just crazy. She's able to keep people out just the front leg, whether it's strikes to the front of the chest or solar plex, or strikes across to like the side of the ribs. When she fights, she gets to the ground and has a great knee on belly. Starts throwing punches down. And you're right, she quit after that. When she clinches up with people, she starts throwing the knees. Likes to aim strikes downwards just because of how tall she normally is against people, and can be very explosive. I think Ronda Markos, I mean, a lot of the types of fights that she can win are fights with girls like Juliana Lima. When she clinches with people and mixes in the punches with the wrestling, she can normally put a lot of people on the floor, start imposing, start kind of passing, beating her up, hustle out of danger when she is taking advantage of the back, or having something having someone put a submission on her. But it takes a lot of energy for her to battle out, and she's not very good on the stand up. If she is dealing with it, she has a lot of basics, a lot of jabs, jabs, right hands, hooks as well. I think it'll be pretty easy for a kickboxer to beat her up on the feet. And I think Marina Rodriguez also has decent enough takedown defense to avoid any last-minute takedowns that Ronda Markos might go for to clinch around, as she might do sometimes. But yeah, I got this from Marina Rodriguez. I think she kickboxes her.
Yeah. Okay. Next fight is Renan Barao taking on Andre Ewell. And man, I got 3.5 units on Andre Ewell at plus 115. Take that. I think he's 5'11".
Yeah.
He has a 75-inch reach. He's huge for the bantamweight division. He's not a great wrestler, but man, does he have some good striking? He's a very good boxer.
Really, you got a nice choke on Dennis Paiva.
Yeah, nasty doors choke, but he's not a good wrestler. He's got some submission skills as we saw against Dennis Paiva, and he's just dangerous all around, man. This guy's dangerous. He just has to work on that takedown defense a little bit. But he's a big bantamweight, and he's ready to make some noise here. I took him at plus 115. I know he opened at plus 250. I wish I could have caught that, but I got him at plus 115 here. And I think he does work here against Henry Barao. I think Barao is shot. I think Barao lost to Brian Kelleher rather easily. Brian Kelleher showed he's a superior fighter. He's lost his last one was against Felipe Overman at 145. So come on, that was even a gimme fight too. Henry Barao versus Felipe Over. Come on, get it fucking together. Other than that, it's not his heyday anymore when he was facing Uriah Faber for the title and shit. He's not 32-1 anymore. This isn't him. This is the guy who fell off against TJ Dillashaw. That was his last good fight against TJ Dillashaw, and then boom, downhill from there, brother. Not you saw to fuck around or something. You saw to definitely fucked around with him. Ever since USADA came in, he hasn't been the same.
Mm.
So I don't know if that's steroids or if that's I don't know what that is, but he hasn't been the same for a while now, and I see a lot of people saying this is going to be his first win back. I don't see it, man. I see Andre Ewell taking this.
Yeah, I'm thinking about this one, man. Andre Ewell, he's got a great counter style for boxing. Always looks for that overhand left, big shots when he does throw. I mean, he's got a lot of torque in these punches, especially when he's kind of moving off balance with each punch he throws. But again, I mean, he's one of those fighters who's used to it. He can throw these uncorking, shots and be off balance, but then kind of move back into balance and throw something else. He's very, very loose. Kind of goes wherever the fight takes him. And, he battles back very well. Random Brown, on the other hand, I mean, we might have seen him in his heyday. He doesn't have much. He throws a lot of twos, a lot of two punches, two kicks, or he'll double it up and throw two right hands, two left kick, looking to see where he puts that. I mean, he's got a high pace, but it'll die down eventually. He was champ before, killing it. Obviously, you saw to crack down on him, and it's been a while since we've got to see him really perform, throw a lot of those spinning kicks that he used to land, spinning backhands, good at kind of tagging each side of the body with his strikes. He can strike the left thigh, right thigh, throw the body kick. Nasty arm bar. Wouldn't want to get locked up in that. Jumping, throws knees in the air. I mean, again, a lot of this stuff is kind of on hold because we don't really know what his condition's like. He's been in the UFC way longer, but this is obviously Ewell's first fight in. I still understand why everybody is picking Barao in this one. And I tend to lean towards that as well. I think Barao has enough in the tank to defend against someone this new, as well as even surprise some people who think that he doesn't have it anymore.
He doesn't have it anymore.
He'll surprise you then.
No, Andre Ewell's gonna crack him. He's gonna crack him. Andre Ewell's the real deal. Unless you can wrestle like a motherfucker, which Barao is not a wrestler. He's a takedown defense kind of wrestler. He's a good wrestler. He's good at wrestling defense, not so much offense. But I don't see him out striking Andre Ewell. He's too inactive at times. He doesn't strike enough. I think Andre Ewell sparks him. But that's me. Next up is Sam Alvey taking on Little Nog here. Tony Rogerio Nogueira. And this is who I got parlayed with Celestino Santos, minus 170, 5 units. I'm big on Sam Alfie here. I think he gets the job done. I think his striking is going to be superior in there at the time. He's going to be the faster striker and whatnot. And he probably has more power in his hands at the moment, man. Little Nog's 42 years old. You saw him at open workouts. The guy can barely move. This is probably his retirement fight as well. I see Sam Alvey having doing enough damage on the feet to get the win, but I see him getting a knockout here. So knockout for Sam Alvey, and I got 5 units on him. I just think Little Nog, like last time he fought was like 2 years ago against Ryan Bader. Man, it's been a while against a guy who's always competing in Sam Alvey. It's going to be trouble.
Yeah. I mean, Nogueira is pretty much the Bernard Hopkins of this. He's still going at 42. You know, obviously a master at submissions. I liked watching his Brendan Schaub fight, kind of going into some of his old stuff. I mean, that it was even seeing that fight was crazy back then because a lot of people had Schaub going in. Well, I mean, a lot of people expected Schaub to win that pretty easily. Obviously, landed a crazy combo when you put him up against the fence. Doesn't really care about punch form. He's just throwing numbers at your face, just kind of juggling punches. Again, at 40, real difficult to do. If at open workouts is kind of sluggish, then chances are during the fight, it'll be the same ways. Sam Alvey, on the other hand, obviously a lot younger, but still up there, and I can actually see him still going for a while. Had a loss to Ramazan Ameev, but again, real tough fight. He likes to switch stances at a moment's notice and throw a lot in the pocket, wrestle a lot, likes to throw those.
But he looked good against John Vellante, man. I thought he looked good against John Vellante at light heavyweight. And that was his first fight at light heavyweight or his second fight at light heavyweight. I thought he looked good. Just had to throw that one in there.
Yeah, I mean, real dedicated to that leg kick and takes a lot of energy from people when he does. I'd like to see it pay off, and I think, I think Spann and Sam Alvey gets this one.
Who? What?
Yeah, I think Spann and Sam Alvey gets this one.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Next up, I believe, is our co-main event. And Cowboy Oliveira and Carlo Pedersoli. And I'll let you take this one, Gib.
Carlo Pedersoli, man, very loose, very flowy in the way he strikes from southpaw. A lot of middle kicks working from his left side. Worked Dalby to the ground after kicks landed on him from Dalby in the second. Very fast to jump on a guillotine on the ground. Fighters are trying to use it to support themselves. He's really good at, when fighters go to post on their hand, he's really good to on getting on that guillotine. Dalby with a huge head kick right after fake right hand landed. He shows that he's got he can throw some elbows, really pushing opponents around in there, man. Almost against the cage, rolled into a calf slice. Just watch round 3 of the Dalby fight because he runs out of the gate, starts striking. Real good from him, man. Able to weather a lot of the storm, and in such a tough fight, it was a split decision. I can see why, because Dalby really threw down with him. But Alex Cowboy Oliveira can be really risky at times as well. He lunges into danger a lot with his head forward and fights bit off. Starts kind of controlling at the mid rounds and kind of tends to die down a bit, but he keeps his punches up to about mid and heavy strikes. So it always keeps him in there, and it keeps him pretty deadly as well. He's great at following his opponents around and staying uber close. It's part of the reason why he lost to Carlos Condit, but I mean, still, man. Or no, sorry, he got the standing guillotine on Carlos Condit.
Yeah.
And before that, he was kind of walking, like he went into a walking pace on him. So I like that. He's pretty calm-headed when he has to be, especially when someone's pushing you edge like Carlos Condit. And I mean, obviously his condition was questionable going into the fight, but but I thought Carlos Condit was actually the favorite in that one, and I was picking him to win in that. Yeah, I kind of like Cowboy in this fight. I can see why Carlo is good in this, but after seeing his difficulties with Dalby in their fight and seeing it was a split, I actually kind of want to go for Cowboy in this. I think other than if he misses a really big shot, really big punch or kick, and then gets countered immediately, I mean, I think he can win it, especially if he hustles out of a lot of the breaks and and can throw those kicks again.
Yeah, man. From what I remember about Pedersoli, he had a tough fight against Nicholas Dalby.
Check that one out.
Yeah. I didn't even bother taping him this time around, but from the first time I taped him, when I bet him against Brad Scott, and I remember he had a tough fight against Pedersoli, against Nicholas Dalby, and Pedersoli also, he didn't look all that great against Brad Scott, if I remember correctly. That went to decision, correct?
Hold on.
Brad Scott versus Carlo Pedersoli. I believe it went to decision. Pedersoli, yeah, I'm almost 100% sure it went to decision, but Cowboy has just been dangerous, guys. You guys have seen his knockout. I think he's one of my favorite knockouts from him was that Ryan LaFleur knockout. You've seen the damage he does to people, just like what he did to Yancey in their fight of the year, but the Yancey ends up knocking him out. Even in his last fight there, when he gets the guillotine on Carlos Condit there, I thought that was really good. Showed how good you are. If like, I know Carlos Condit has declined and whatnot, but that shows how good Cowboy Oliveira is when he's standing guillotine Carlos Condit there. No bet here. I think this is a pass, but I got Alex Oliveira to win here. I'm probably gonna throw him in my Brazilian parlay. Okay, main event time. Thiago Mereta Santos taking on Eryk Anders. And man, Mereta is no joke. Mereta comes with fucking striking power, and he's coming fast and hard at you. And he's coming to finish you. Most likely it's gonna be the first round. This fight's gonna finish with I think by the first or second round this fight's done. But I'm thinking about playing the fight doesn't go to decision with the Ryan Spann fight doesn't go to decision. And then I'm thinking about playing, or I'm not thinking about playing. I played Thiago Santos 3 units minus 150, and I think he's just the more equipped fighter here, the better striker. I think Eryk Anders at times too patient. Doesn't throw enough strikes. Very, very hesitant on throwing strikes. Like against the Oda Machida, against Tim Williams, he was very hesitant to throw strikes. And I don't know, he has to work past that or something. He's very timid at times. But when he lands that left hand, and it's dangerous. So Charles Santos has to just get rid of that left hand, make sure he doesn't take that left hand on the chin, and I think Thiago Santos will can finish Eryk Anders here within 2 rounds. So I got Thiago Santos here for the win. I got 3 units on him at minus 150.
I would have really liked to see
Jimmy Manuwa.
Yeah, I would really like to see the Manuwa fight, but I think this is just as good, especially since Thiago Santos' Kevin Holland fight. I mean, I'm a big fan of that one because Kevin Holland started talking, and I mean, Thiago looked stone-faced in that fight. Didn't even really,
good fight.
Oh yeah. Didn't play with him on the feet like a lot of fighters do. He's got awesome one shots. And can select properly, selects kicks properly, changes paces, and he's not an easy fighter to be matched up with. Because you not only have to match his pace, but when he's on his defense and he starts to throw counter, you also have to match that pace as well. And he's great at the ground pound, man. Nothing he throws on the ground is light. Everything is a big shot that's just like rocks being thrown down at you. Huge right elbow. Landed a left hook up against the fence in that Lionheart fight after Anthony Lionheart Smith dropped his guard. Really liked that one. His combos seem to land a lot, especially when he's fighting opponents who throw light. Because a lot of opponents who throw light actually start to land, and this could be the beginning of the end for them. Because if they land so many light strikes, eventually Thiago Santos is walking through one, you're getting hit with something big, and that elbow or left hook can come at any time. Eryk Anders, southpaw, always coming forward, has that wrestling kind of movement. He can hustle out of position, get into another hold up against the fence, switch his hips, change it again. Really good at taking the back. Again, I actually agree that he does wait a little bit longer, but when he does wait, he's still pressing pace, and he can still be forward. It's just going to be really hard to do against Thiago Santos, especially seeing his last few fights after David Branch. David Branch KO'd him, and I didn't think that was a really big shot, and I mean even David Branch kind of shrugged and was like, "What?" But I mean, Eryk Anders could very easily land a lot of that same pressure and keep that same pressure as well. He's also a little bit smaller. Well, I think so. I think he's a little bit smaller than David Branch. I think he'll be able to get him really quickly if he grabs up a single. So he could out wrestle him. But yeah, I have to agree that Thiago Santos is still pretty deadly with the kicks. And I think it'll be difficult for Eryk Anders to do it. So, again, I'm really impressed with that Kevin Holland fight. So I'm sticking with Santos in this one.
All right. That wraps us up for breakdowns and everything. I'm going to try and put timestamps in this video so you guys can just fast forward to the fight you want and whatever. And, yeah, man, let's get it this week and let's cash these bets. Yeah, as always. Peace, guys. Take care.
Everyone, peace.